I'm 87 years old, and the simple truth I'm about to tell you would have saved me from decades of confusion, from running in the wrong direction as fast as I possibly could. If I learned it too late, you're going to learn it right now. Here it is. You can only feel what's actually in front of you. That's it. That's the whole thing. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, that's it. That's the big revelation from the old man with the cane. But stay with me. Because if you understood what those 12 words actually meant, really meant, all the way down in your bones, your entire life would rearrange itself. And I spent 52 years not understanding them, not even close. I believed in the future. That was my religion. I worshipped at the altar of what was coming. The next case, the next win, the next promotion, the next year when things would finally slow down and I would be able to feel my life instead of just managing it. I made partner at 45 at a firm in Portland, Morrison & Clark, and I remember standing in that conference room with a glass of champagne thinking, this is it. And then thinking immediately after, okay, what's next? I didn't even let myself land. The champagne was still cold in my hand and I was already gone. That's the lie I live by. There's always more time to feel things later. Right now there's work to do. Right now there are billable hours and depositions and client calls and flights to catch. The feelings, the real ones, the ones that actually make a life, those can wait. I'll get to those. I want to show you exactly what that lie cost me. Not in vague terms. In real numbers, real moments, real people. My daughter Sarah was born in 1965. She's 60 years old now. My baby is 60 years old. When she was 7, she used to wait by the front door for me on Friday nights. Linda told me that, years later, she'd sit on the bottom step of the staircase with her stuffed rabbit and she'd wait. And most Fridays, I wasn't home by the time she fell asleep on that step. I was on a plane or in a conference room or at a client dinner telling myself I was doing it for them. I missed her waiting for me hundreds of times. I will never be able to go back and walk through that door while she's still sitting there. That moment is gone. It is simply gone from the universe. My son Michael was 30 years old and working himself to death in investment banking, and I didn't even see it because it looked like success to me. It looked like he was doing the right thing. It looked like me. He quit at 35 and became a high school teacher, and I remember my first reaction was confusion. Disappointment, even. I thought he was throwing something away. I understand now that he was saving his life. He retired at 55. I didn't retire until 67. He got 12 more years of living than I did. I stood there in 1992, judging him for it. My wife, Linda. We were married for 48 years, and she died 7 years ago from pancreatic cancer. She was 80. And here is what I need you to understand about those 48 years. For the first 27 of them, roughly years 1 through 27, I was physically present in our marriage, but genuinely, truly not there. I was thinking about work when she was talking to me. I was planning depositions during dinners. I was somewhere else, always somewhere else, and I had convinced myself that because I was providing for her, I was being a good husband. I came home, I sat at the table, I slept in the bed, but I wasn't there. I wasn't feeling any of it because I had decided, unconsciously, automatically, that the real living would start later. She deserved a full husband for 48 years. She got one for maybe 21. I want to sit with that number for a second because I don't think it's abstract. 21 years out of 48, less than half. And the cruel thing is, I thought I was a good husband during all of it. I thought because I didn't drink, didn't disappear, didn't leave, I was doing my job. I didn't understand that showing up physically is the bare minimum. That the actual thing, the thing that makes a marriage real, is being emotionally present in the room. Letting the other person land in you. Letting their day matter to you the way it matters to them. I didn't know how to do that until I was 52 years old, and my heart stopped. The turning point was November of 1990. I was 52 years old, and I was in a client meeting on the 24th floor of a building in downtown Portland, and I had a massive heart attack. I remember the exact moment. I remember the quality of the light. I remember thinking, I'm dying in a conference room, and there's nothing in this room that I love. 6 months of recovery. Triple bypass surgery. And in the hospital bed, in that strange quiet that comes after the body has been cracked open and put back together, something shifted. I had been living my entire adult life like I was standing in a beautiful room but facing the wall. The room was full of people I loved, full of moments that were happening right now, full of everything that actually constitutes a life. And I had my back to all of it, facing the wall, working on the wall, climbing the wall, and the heart attack turned me around. I spent the next 35 years actually in my life. And I want to be careful here because I don't want to make it sound simple or clean or like a commercial for transformation. It wasn't. It was a daily practice. It was relearning how to sit in a room with people you love and just be in that room. To feel the dinner instead of calculating it. To hear Linda's voice instead of filing it away as background information while I thought about something else. I had to learn to be present in my own life like it was a foreign language. Because for me it was. Here's what 35 years of practicing that has taught me. The future is a story you tell yourself to avoid the present moment. That's all it is. Every time I told myself I'd be more available next year, I was telling myself a story to avoid the discomfort of being here, now, imperfect, incomplete, with work still undone. The future always felt manageable. The present was demanding. Feelings don't wait on hold. They expire. I thought I could bank emotional experiences the way I banked money. I thought I could say, I'll really be there for that. I'll really feel that later. But the moment my daughter was 7, and waiting on that step is not available to me now, the feeling of that specific moment is gone. You cannot feel something later that was only real now. The thing you're postponing is the whole thing. I used to think I was postponing the small moments to protect the big picture. Now I understand the small moments are the big picture. There is no other picture. The Friday nights, the dinners, the ordinary conversations that felt like nothing at the time. That is what a life is made of. I'm 87 years old. I take 8 medications every morning. I use a cane. I talk to a photograph of my wife every single day because she's been gone 7 years and I still haven't stopped needing to tell her things. I held my great-granddaughter Ava when she was an hour old, and I thought about how many hours of my own children's lives I had missed by being nowhere near where I actually was. My father died at 71 from a heart attack. I've lived 16 years longer than he did, and I understand now that he probably died the same way I almost did, with his face to the wall. I had approximately 18,980 days of adult life between 25 and my heart attack at 52. I was genuinely present for maybe a third of them. Maybe. The math of that is brutal. The math is roughly 12,600 days of being technically alive, while actually somewhere else in my head. I cannot get those days back. That's not a metaphor. That's just physics. Time moves in one direction, and I spent most of the good middle of mine half present at best. So here is what I would tell myself at 25, at 35, at 45. At 25, I would say, the career will be fine, it will develop. It does not need your entire consciousness 70 hours a week. Give it 50. Give the other 20 to the people in your actual life and to being inside your own experience. You are not building toward living. This is already it. At 35, I would say, your kids are watching how you treat the present moment and they are going to learn from it. Michael learned it from me and spent his 30s doing what I did. He had to unlearn it at 35 at great personal cost. Whatever you're modeling right now is what they will have to undo later. At 45, I would say, the promotion isn't going to feel the way you think it will. It's going to feel like standing in a room with champagne thinking about what's next. You already know this. Stop. If you're watching this and you're somewhere between 25 and 55, here's what I want you to actually do this week. Not think about. Do. Tonight at dinner, put the phone face down. Not because phones are evil, but because your dinner is happening right now and it will only happen once. Feel it. Be in the room where you actually are. Call the person you've been meaning to call when things slow down. Things will not slow down. Call them now. Ask yourself one question and answer it honestly. What am I not feeling because I'm waiting to feel it later? What am I not saying? What am I not noticing? What is happening in my life right now that I am technically present for, but not actually experiencing? Because here is what I know at 87 that I did not know at 42. You are not preparing for your life. You are in it. Right now. This is not the practice round. Every ordinary Tuesday is the thing itself. The thing you are going to remember, or fail to remember, or regret that you missed. There are no throwaway days. There are only days you were in and days you weren't. I am 87 years old. I've been genuinely living for 35 of those years, and I'm grateful for every single one of them. But I missed a lot. I missed my daughter on the bottom step. I missed the version of Michael who needed his father to tell him it was okay to want a different life. I missed thousands of ordinary evenings with Linda when she was there and alive, and I was in the same room with my mind somewhere else entirely. The simple truth is this: you can only feel what's actually in front of you, which means the only time to be alive is now, not after the next thing, Not when things calm down, not later. You're watching this right now. You are in your life right now. That's the only window there is. I learned that at 52 when my heart stopped in a conference room. You're learning it right now. Don't waste the time I wasted. You cannot get it back.